Greetings. Today I'm going to talk about hollow earth. But first I'm going to show you this video about it's a meteor that went over Russia, I think in 2013, and what you see here is a group of UFOs. There's one here, I'm not sure if there's one there, another one here, maybe some more around. But they catch up to this meteor, which NASA was saying that it was only like 50 feet or something like that. But it might have been just a fragment or something. But the actual meteor itself was 125 miles wide, and if that would have hit, and as a whole, it would we wouldn't be talking right now. It would have been a near extinction level event. So what happened was some ships were dispatched from Hollow Earth to destroy this meteor, and as you will see, what will happen is a ship will come in from behind it, go through the center of it, and puts a force field around it, and the ship will exit out the front, and then later on the meteor will implode, not explode, implode. So inside the force field, as you will see. You see how these the UFOs catch up to the meteor, and they stop in midair and observe what's going on. You see the UFO go through the center and puts a force field, and the ship exits out the front. There it goes. Exit out the front. And puts his cloaking device on or whatever and disappears. So let me just, here's another filtered image. Let me play that again so y'all can see. There's a group of UFOs around it. They stopped and hover, and the meteor implodes inside the force field. See the ship going through the center, come out the front, and there it is again. There it goes. There's another filtered image. Anyway, we're just going to tell you that that ship was from Hollow Earth, and it was sent to destroy that that meteor. Let's see if I can move this. Okay, here's a website I found with good information. It's thenewearth.org/innerearth.html, and there's a picture of the hollow Earth. Let's see, there's an opening at the North Pole, and it's about 1,400 miles wide, and at both poles. And there's, I guess, there's tunnels all throughout the planet, leading into the hollow of the area of the Earth. You know, there's all over the planet. There's interest at the Pyramid of Giza, Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, and different places. But there's they got oceans in there, mountains, huge trees, and cities. And it's called Agartha, or Agartha. And they also have a sun in there. Remember, I said in my other videos, our sun is not hot. Well, their sun is not hot either. It puts out light, and but it's not like millions of degrees hot, like, you know, NASA tells us our sun is, but it's not. So let me just scroll down and read some of this information. Okay, the biggest cover-up of all time is the fact that there's a civilization of people living in the center of the earth whose civilization name is known as Agartha. And skip this section here. And to begin with, the Buddhists in their theology fervently believes in its existence. They believe it is to be a race of supermen and women who occasionally come to the surface to oversee the development of the human race. They also believe that this subterranean world has millions of inhabitants and many cities, and their capital is Shambhala. The master of this world was believed to have been given orders to the Dalai Lama of Tibet, who was his terrestrial representative. His messages were being transmitted through certain secret tunnels connecting the inner world with Tibet. The famous Russian channel Nicholas Roerich, I don't know how you say it, who was the channel for the Ascended Master El Morya, claimed that Lhasa, the capital of Tibet, was connected by a tunnel with the inner earth, Shambhala. The entrance of the tunnel was guarded by lamas who were sworn to secrecy. A similar tunnel was believed to connect the secret chambers of the base of the Great Pyramid at Giza and Agartha. The Indian epic Ramayana and the Bhagavad Gita are the two most famous texts of India. The Ramayana tells the story of the great avatar Rama. The Bhagavad Gita tells the story of Krishna. The Ramayana describes Rama as the emissary from Agartha, who arrived on an air vehicle. This is quite extraordinary in that both the Buddhist and the Hindu religions separately refer to Agartha. Here's a section about Admiral Byrd. The first public scientific evidence occurred in 1947 when Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd of the United States Navy flew directly over the North Pole, and instead of going over the pole, actually entered the inner earth. In his diary with other witnesses, there were other witnesses, he tells of entering the hollow interior of the earth and traveling 1,700 miles over mountains, lakes, rivers, green vegetation, and animal life. He tells of seeing monstrous animals resembling the mammoth of antiquity, moving through the underbrush. He eventually found cities and a thriving civilization. There's more information on here. You can go to this website and read more. There's more information about that in here. It's thenewearth.org/innerearth.html. And let me just show you some photos here. Now this is a picture of the, I don't know if I can move that around or not. It's a picture of the, I can't shrink it in, it's too big, of the being that piloted that the spaceship that went through the center of the meteor. And well, you can't see it on here, but he has a medallion and around his neck. As you can see here is the shape of the hollow of the earth. There's an opening here for the North Pole, there's one for the South Pole, and there's the opening of the hollowness in here of the earth. You can't see that, but there's a better picture with the central sun in the center that provides light. It's perpetual light. There's no night. It's just perpetual light, and it's warm, like constant 73 degrees or something like that. There's no extreme, 100 degrees and all this stuff, and minus this and that. It's just a constant degrees inside the earth. Wish I could move this around, but I can't. Anyway, let me show you another picture of this Admiral Richard E. Byrd. He flew into the hollow earth. It's a picture of him. And they kept him, actually they locked him up. They told him to keep quiet and don't tell anybody. So our government knows about this, and that tell their own military people to shut up and don't say nothing. So, and they keep teaching us that the earth is a hot, molten core inside our planet, which is not, which is false. And here's a picture from a satellite catching the opening at one of the poles, and usually they try to hide it. Here's an opening. Usually they either NASA tries to hide it, or the Agarthans themselves, they put a hologram over it, or clouds. Either they make clouds or they put a hologram over it, or they look like clouds. And there's one opening in the South Pole also, but it's smaller because the formation of the ice around it kind of made the hole smaller at the opening. But it's 1,400 miles across, I believe. And we go to another picture. Okay, the Northern Lights, or Aurora Borealis. What our scientists and NASA are saying, that the reason we get our Northern Lights and Southern Lights is not correct. The reason we get these aurora borealis is because of the light is coming from the openings in the poles. The light from hollow Earth. That's where it's getting. That's what's causing the northern and southern lights, not what NASA or scientists tell you. It's coming from the sun inside the planet, which is not hot, but it puts out light. That's what creates the northern lights. The true origin of the northern and southern lights, not what NASA or some other scientists say it is. It's from the sun inside the planet, not the sun out in space. And okay, it's the being. He is originally from the planet of Lemur, which they created a civilization on the surface, and it was called Lemuria. I guess they named it after the planet Lemur, which he says is we call Nibiru, but he says that's not correct. The correct name for that planet is Lemur, and he lived in the ancient Lemuria, which was in the Pacific Ocean. It was kind of like a valley. It was where the Pacific Ocean is now, and probably, I don't know how far, but the Hawaiian Islands was part of Lemuria, and Easter Island, parts of Japan. What happened, he says, there was some kind of war way back then that destroyed a firmament that was over the earth back then, and there was like a moisture barrier or something like that. And when that they destroyed that, they called it the stratum, and they destroyed that, all that moisture came down and flooded that valley, which was Lemuria. It actually didn't sink. Atlantis sunk. Lemuria got flooded, and with this moisture that came from the firmament, and that's what happened. And they took refuge in certain areas. Some took refuge under Mount Shasta in California. There's a smaller civilization under Mount Shasta in the ground and part of the mountain there, and that's really called inner Earth, because there's some civilizations that live in the crust, and then the hollow Earth Aryans live further down inside the hollowness of the planet, and they, like I said, there are tunnels, and it's kind of honeycombed, and there's caverns and caves as well. He says that it's everything down there is in perfect harmony. There's peace. Everybody loves each other. There's no money. Nobody gets sick. Nobody dies. They live, forever. And they all help each other and live in harmony. They live in harmony with the people, the plants, and the surroundings. They communicate with telepathy, and they talk to nature, everything around them. They talk to the trees. The trees talk back, telepathically, that is, with them. They communicate with the plants, even the water. Everything has consciousness, and they talk to the water. guess telepathically, everything. I mean, there's um, flowers. The flowers sing to you. The water sings to you, and the water is perfectly clear and perfect. And there's all kinds of animals that have gone extinct in our area, our surface, and they're still they live down there. And even what we call carnivores up here, they don't eat each other or eat the people down there, because everything is in perfect harmony. They eat, they're vegetarians. They eat plant-based foods, fruits, vegetables, and they have hydroponic gardens. There's no waste. The waste gets dematerialized because they have high technology also. They have spaceships, and they have kind of floating vehicles that could take you around Hollow Earth. Anti-magnetic, I guess. And then, like I said, there's saber-toothed tigers down there, dinosaurs down there. And they don't fight with each other. They don't. Everything's in perfect harmony. They have a library down there that's, you wouldn't believe it. The true Library of Alexandria is down there. The Garden of Eden is down there. There is, God, there's so much. Anyway, well, like I said, if you go to this website, you can read some stuff about it. And yeah, the Earth is hollow. The government has been keeping it quiet for since what, I don't know, 1947 or something. Not only the Earth, but all planets are hollow, and there's beings that live inside the planet. What else? Oh, they're supposed to eventually, at some point in time, they're supposed to come up and meet with us, show themselves at a certain time, and that's why they're creating kind of like a shipping channels or shipping lanes in the North and South Pole. They're melting the ice so they can create shipping channels for us at the proper, so they can come out and visit us, and we can go visit them, and that's why the ice at the poles is melting, not because of global warming, but they're actually doing that at the poles themselves. They have openings all over the world into Hollow Earth, and there's also there's some books, Messages from Hollow Earth by Diane Robbins. She's got some good information from Hollow Earth. I think it's DianeRobbins.com, and it's on that website that I told you about earlier. But anyway, so the Earth is hollow, and our government has known about it for a long time, and they're not telling us. So anyway, I just thought I'd make this video so y'all can research and look around and read up about Admiral Richard E. Byrd, his trip into the Hollow Earth, the North Pole, and there's a, he had an actual diary that, I don't know, I guess his family still has it, or I don't know, it's put away somewhere. And there's another, somebody put out a book by The Secret Diary of Admiral Byrd, but I don't know if that's completely correct. But there is an original diary out there somewhere, and it could be under the family's possession or something like that. But the earth is hollow. Alright, until next time.